So let's talk about four things that your soul knows, but you are probably resisting. And these are all things that if you stop resisting, you will experience more soul alignment and therefore just be able to let more of your soul wisdom into your life, which just always leads to more success, more fulfillment, more joy, more of the things that we all crave. So we're going to go through all four things. I have a journal prompt and a tarot prompt for each of them. So if you want to play along, then get a journal and your favorite tarot or oracle deck, and you can pause at those appropriate moments, or you could just listen. If we haven't met, my name is Joanna, and I create content and run workshops and classes on the theme of soul alignment. And the main tool that I use for that is tarot. So I really think that it is in each of our best interests to keep in conversation with our souls. And I think the best way to do that, the easiest way to do that, is using tarot or oracle cards, just because you can fit that into anything during your day. It can help you with literally anything that is happening for you. And it's just simple and easily accessible. You don't need anything else besides a deck and a journal, which hopefully you have by your side right now. Now let's get into the four things that your soul knows, but you probably keep resisting. Number one is that your dreams are possible for you to achieve, and you have them for a reason. So the dreams that you have, the real deep desires that you have, they come from your soul. They're not random. You didn't just pick them up along the way. They're probably things that you've been wanting to have in your life or to experience for a really long time, possibly since childhood. And they come from that higher, we call it, version of yourself, although I prefer to think of it as a deeper version of yourself. In any case, from that part of you that is eternal, that is wise, that we call the soul. And so your soul wants you to move towards those desires, wants you to move towards your dreams. They're like, if you stop thinking of them as impossible things to achieve and start thinking them more as soul nudges, then maybe it'll be easier for you to accept and stop resisting them and actually let yourself move towards them. So we all have these soul level desires that we experience as our dreams, and we all resist them. So if you are resisting yours, if you're not quite letting yourself pursue the things that you're really drawn to, that you feel pulled towards, that's totally normal. Don't worry. It's so normal. It happens to everybody. That my spirit team Avalon have given me this image of a soul dragging one of us, it could be you, it could be me, dragging us along like a sack of potatoes. We don't want to go. We drag our feet. We think we're not ready. Maybe we'll do it when we learn more, we take another course, we lose weight, we figure out money, whatever it is that we think is stopping us. So we're being dragged along in a direction, and it never goes away. When you think about these things that you really want, they've been there for a while and they haven't gone away, which is a sure sign that you're meant to follow them in some capacity. So your soul knows that these things are possible for you. It gave them to you for you to do something with. So perhaps if you accept that, then it'll be easier for you to admit to them and to let yourself pursue them. If you have your journal and tarot cards to hand, then let's take a quick soul check-in pause. Take 5 minutes to journal on the question, what do you one day dream of becoming or creating or doing? And just let yourself write about whatever comes. No judgment. And if you want, you can pull a card on the question, what would help you to believe that this desire, that this dream could come true for you? So pause the video if you want to play along. I find that even 5 minutes of journaling and pulling a card will give you something, will give you an insight, will give you a reframe, will give you some depth. So what you're doing right now is actually a mini version of something that I encourage people to do every week. Every week I send out a Friday email to members of my Club Soul Smart community with a card, a message, and some prompts. And it's just something to encourage structure around your soul connection practice, because some people want to journal or want to pull cards or want to connect within, want to connect with their higher self, but don't know what to ask or how to go about it. So this just trains that muscle. And you're doing it right now. Okay, let's get on to the second thing that your soul knows, but you are probably resisting. And that's that there's a path for you to follow. Your life isn't random. So I really believe that before the soul is born into a lifetime, it makes certain choices, it makes certain plans, it sets certain intentions. It comes here to do particular things or experience particular things or learn particular things. And that is your soul path. That is your soul's plan, intention for this lifetime. So the things that are happening to you, the circumstances that you're faced with, even the patterns that keep reoccurring, they're not random. They're part of some kind of plan. And I think that knowing that is really comforting, that things aren't just happening randomly, they're happening for some kind of growth related reason. Now, you're not a puppet, of course, and you have free will, so you don't have to follow these nudges. But I have personally found that when I do follow them, even if it's difficult, even if things are hard, there's a sense of being on track, a sense of being in alignment, in flow. Things start happening in a different way. Sometimes, dare I say, a more magical way. Helpers come out of the blue, or ideas come in a different way than usual. When you're following your soul's path, you're in flow. The thing to remember is that following your soul's path, or indeed the concept of soul path in general, isn't like the concept of soul purpose that we have all heard of. Like, the soul purpose concept has been made to be this like big thing, one big thing that you're meant to achieve, or one thing that you're meant to build. And it's essentially just become more of goal setting and achievement and hustle. And that is not what the soul path is about. So it is perfectly possible that your soul came here to just experience a certain way of being, or to experience a certain situation, or to experience the other side of a situation that it had already experienced in a previous lifetime. So you might not have a goal to achieve at all. Like, maybe your soul is here to experience not losing yourself in relationships, or not losing yourself in motherhood. Perhaps in previous lifetimes you lost your sense of self, and so this time you want to not do that. Perhaps that's all it is. And so you might be bombarded with all this stuff around having a big goal and thinking bigger and dreaming bigger, but that might not be your path at all. So if that's you, accepting that is a big help, right? It's a big comfort, just knowing that about yourself. That could be your thing. Or maybe your soul came to learn more about individuation, or to practice individuation. And so you might be faced with a lot of situations and people who try to make you fit in to a particular structure, and your whole life will revolve around you stepping away from that structure and allowing yourself to be yourself. Right? So those are just two examples. There's an infinite number of possibilities here, of course. But I think that the most important thing to accept is that there is some kind of plan, there is some kind of path, and that it's in your best interest, in our best interest, to follow that. Not least because if the soul wanted to learn or experience something and it doesn't do that in this particular lifetime, what's going to happen is it's going to reincarnate and try to learn those lessons again. So it's not going to just forget them. So it is in our best interest to go with the flow of life, really. All right, let's take a little soul pause and do a bit of a soul check-in. Take your journal, and if you want to, you don't have to. Take your journal and take 5 minutes to journal on the question, what do you think your soul wants to learn or experience in this lifetime? And you don't have to have the ultimate answer, right? It's okay for you to access whatever you can access from this answer right now, and add on to it and build on it. It doesn't all have to be revealed in one full swoop. So just go with whatever comes up, okay? And if you want to pull an extra tarot card, then you can pull one on the question, what lesson am I learning right now? Or what lesson am I being asked to learn right now. The third thing that the soul knows, and you probably resist like I do, is that feeling good matters and should be prioritized. It's really important that you allow yourself to feel good, to feel as good as you can under whatever circumstances you have right now. So we resist this all the time. We definitely collectively have a thing for making things hard on ourselves, for making things hard, for just suffering through unpleasantness and not even thinking that we can make something nicer or more pleasant or easier, right? But the soul knows that energy matters. And the energy that we bring to life, to any situation really, is more important than the actual action we take. So an action will have a different result based on the energy that you put into it. So feeling confident and grounded and good about yourself and good about your life is actually really important. It's not selfish, it's not silly, it's not naive, it's not any of those things. It's actually it should be part of your personal power protocol. And you already know this, right? Like things become easier. You're able to do harder things when you feel nourished and when you feel good, right? So knowing what things make you feel strong, make you feel confident, make you feel good in yourself, and doing those things, that's really important. This is actually what my spirit team Avalon say is high vibe, is the actual definition of high vibe, of high vibration. So not like being perpetually excited all the time, which is unsustainable, but rather being grounded. So rooted in the ground like a tree with a really strong center. And then of course you can sway with the wind if things happen around you, but you won't fall, right? So that's kind of the idea. So the high vibration concept is that it's like a spiritual core that you can rely on and that can carry you through. And that will help you do the harder things in life as well, because we all know there are plenty of those. All right, soul check-in moment. So take your journal and just spend 5 minutes journaling on the question, where are you currently making things harder on yourself than they need to be? And how can you make them better? How can you make them nicer? How can you feel better in that situation? And if you want to pull a card on the question, what helps me feel good? And then do more of that. Commit to doing more of that this week, this month, even just today. Anything you can fit in is going to make a difference. Okay, and lastly, the fourth thing that your soul knows and you are probably resisting is that you actually know more than you think, and you have access to more answers than you think. So the soul knows that you are connected, right? You're part of the same organism. So you have a connection there. And if you rely more on your inner wisdom, on your intuition, which is your link to your soul, then you will have more answers. You'll feel less of this I don't know energy. But this is something that we're completely conditioned out of as we grow up. When we're very young, we are taught that our answers should come from something external to us, from a parent, from a teacher, from a community leader. And so we lose that muscle. You know how if you don't exercise a muscle, it just goes weaker? It's the same with your intuitive connection. So if you stop resisting that you have the answers, then maybe you can spend some time on training this muscle. Or if you rather think about it less in a gym way, then think about it as building the relationship back up. Right? This is the relationship with your inner self. This is the relationship with your soul, with your higher self, whatever way you want to phrase that. But it is a relationship that needs to be nurtured. And when it is nurtured, that link between you and your soul will be stronger and you'll have more access to your intuitive knowing. And more than that, because you practice not only listening to that intuition, but also following it, you'll have more trust in it, right? So you'll be more willing to actually do the things that those answers ask you to do. Time for our last soul check-in moment. Grab your journal and spend 5 minutes with the question, where are you currently saying that you don't know? And if you had to guess the answer to whatever this dilemma is, what would it be? If you did know. I actually really hate that question when it's asked of me. It always feels really hard, but I'm always really happy when I move through it. So I encourage you to do that as well, to not resist this. If you did know the answer, what would that answer be? And if you don't know, guess or make it up or imagine it, and it'll unblock something in you. And if you want to pull a card, pull one on the question, what is my intuition trying to tell me about this situation right now? Cards are a really great way to just get some extra insight because, of course, when you're journaling, it's coming mostly from your conscious mind. Now, there is some soul level stuff that can come through depending on how in flow you are, but sometimes it's literally just really logical stuff. So it's might be helpful to pull cards along with your journaling practice so that you have access to the things that are unseen, to the things that are just under that conscious level, so that you have access to more of your soul's wisdom. And that's why I send those messages and prompts out every single Friday in Club Soul Smart, so that muscle is built up. Okay, that's all. I hope that you feel more connected to your soul right now and that you will stop resisting at least one of the things that we talked about today. If you want to share in the comments which one you will stop resisting or which of them resonated most with you, I would really love to know. I answer every comment and love to get them. All right, that's it. I will see you in the next video. Bye.